Hey everyone, and welcome to CSE Tech Talks. I'm Joel, and today we're talking about informational interviews. And today I also have a very special guest star with me, Brother Clements.
Hi. What would you like to know about me?
Yeah. Wow, that threw me off.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little bit about myself.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a background in computer science. I got my my associates here at Ricks College. Then I got my undergraduate at BYU Provo. And then I went out and started working in the field with a company called TRW. About that time, I met my wife, and she was still going to school. About 2 years later, she told me I was bored as I was teasing her while she was doing her homework. And I went back to school and got my master's in computer science while I was still working. So that was over a 4-year process. So 6 years working for TRW. Within that time, Northrop Grumman took over the company. They called it a hostile takeover. It wasn't really hostile. Nobody marched in. It was basically them buying up all their stocks.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of an interesting introduction to the commercial world of things. I worked there for about 10 years, and then I went over to Raytheon and started working there. I was there 5 years. While I was working there, I started working at a community college part-time. And that was kind of a fun thing. Story for another day.
For sure.
And which led me to online teaching, which led me to BYU's online teaching, which over 8 years led me to start teaching here. I've been here about 9 years. As part of that, I've been asked to do our internship program. I've been doing that for about 8 years.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for that. And I'm feeling the heat with the internships thing right now.
Yes.
I'm sure quite a lot of students are, which is why we're going to talk about informational interviews today. And as I understand it, you teach a class about that.
That's right. CSE 300 Career Readiness. We talk specifically about how to prepare and to find internships and to prepare to find full-time jobs. We found that a lot of students were postponing this until the very last semester. And so we decided that at the beginning of your junior year, you should be taking this class and preparing you for your professional career, transitioning from being an academic professional to being a working professional.
I might need to do that. I might need to take that class. I've applied to quite a few things. I got 1 or 2 screeners through, but not a lot of bites. Is that common right now?
Yeah, if you apply to several jobs and you get a job interview, the market has been a little bumpy. There's been a few things that have been thrown in the pond and causing some waves in that industry. We still feel confident that networking is probably the most strongest aspect of that, and that falls into the informational interviews aspect of that. I'll give you some ideas on how to do that as we go through this. So
yeah,
I've been doing this for 7 years, so I try to put a little bit of a bait to lead you along.
Definitely, and
stir the curiosity.
And let's dive in on that.
Okay.
Can you tell me a little bit about what makes an informational interview?
So an informational interview is, I kind of broke it down into very basic stuff. It's just you and me having a conversation, usually over food. Some people like to drink coffee. I'm not a big coffee guy. You give me a little bit of caffeine, I'm walking through the wall. Right?
Yeah.
But over food, dinner, lunch, breakfast, usually consists of about 20 minutes. So you don't want to take up these professionals' time, a lot of time. So the word gets out, oh, John Smith is going to be doing informational interviews, and now he has meals set for the next 6 months. Right? Informational interview is not a job interview. Very clear on that. An informational interview is not a job interview. It is the difference between you interviewing somebody and them interviewing you. So informational interview is you interviewing somebody else. You're doing the research, that you need to find out how to work at that company. You're getting the trade secrets of how to get hired.
Yeah.
Right. The cheat sheets, the Easter eggs, right, of how the company works from the inside, from an insider, right? Not really, but this is mostly common knowledge that not necessarily will be provided in a job description, right? A job informational interview usually consists of 3 main parts, and they're sandwiched. So the top of the sandwich is your elevator pitch. You're introducing yourself, they're introducing them. And then at the bottom of the sandwich is the follow-up, right? The 3 main parts, though, is what do they do? This will be the major consistency of that interview. And then as you gather more information, then you say, well, how can I do that job? So you're going to ask them for advice. You're going to ask them about what things to look up, what things to watch. You're also going to ask for them to review your resume, because this is a great follow-up item, right? And then you're going to ask, as the third part, who else does it? Expanding your network, building a relationship of trust, and getting other points of contact maybe within the company. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned that it's not a job interview.
That's right.
That's probably a common confusion, maybe. What would you say are some... Is that even a common confusion? And what are some other ones?
That is a very common confusion.
Confused.
They're like, well, I'm asking them for a job interview. I'm like, no, you're not asking them for a job interview. And during the informational interview, you should not, don't ask them for a job. Okay. To me, asking for a job in the middle of an informational interview would be as ludicrous as if you get a interview with Microsoft or Google, and in the middle of that conversation, they ask you for a job. Right?
It's like
you're basically trying to build a relationship with that individual, not necessarily get hired. Why is that important? Well, that relationship is going to be very interesting, because when they go back to their company, and at some point, let's say that you are the person that just got interviewed by me, right? But now I'm going to play the role of your manager. Okay. We like you. We want more clones of you, but we have a problem. We have this new contract and we need more people like you. We just promoted you. We want to see lots of you. Do you have anyone that you've been mentoring? Right.
Okay. Interesting.
So all of a sudden now you're like, oh, as a person that was just interviewed in an informational interview, you now have clones that you've been mentoring, and you have these people that you trust. And that would be you as a student who's done an informational interview.
Ooh, fantastic. Okay. And what would you say is the product, the meat and bones of what a student might want to walk away with when they finish an informational interview?
They might want to know how the company works, their culture, what type of products they're building, what the company's pain points are, right? If you're a business person, you're like, what's the pain point? How can I solve their problem? What type of characteristics, skills, attributes that I should be working on that would make myself marketable to that company, along with building a relationship with that person, right? So you might end up working for that person. If they don't like you because you just kind of did a bunch of random questions, they're like, I don't know if I want to work with that person. So you're trying to build a relationship with them so they can say, yes, I would love for you to be on our team, because 1, I've invested time into you, and 2, you're a likable person, and 3, you have the skill sets that we need, right? So you're trying to gather that information. You get a better idea. You become more confident in your field. Also, the whole idea behind those information is build the connection, build the confidence, and build your professionalism.
It really is a kind of a social thing, not even just like give me information.
Because they're going to ask you questions too. And that's okay, because when they're asking you questions, by the way, there is a time, and this is very common, that halfway through the informational interview, they'll flip the switch. And all of a sudden, especially if you're like talking to a manager,
Yeah.
They'll flip the switch and say, "Oh, you are becoming very interesting to me." And they flip it into a job interview, and that's okay. They did it, not you.
Yeah. So maybe be ready for that.
Yeah, be ready for that.
Yeah.
Especially when the resume comes out.
Yeah. And would you say it's important to avoid questions that are easily found online and where answers are? Is there a top tip or maybe top tips you have for coming up with really good, interesting questions, and maybe not just for the sake of questions, but I don't know. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
to answer your question, let me see if I got the question right. What is the best way to prepare for an informational interview?
Perfect. Yeah.
So the best way to prepare for an informational interview, one is to do some research about the company. There's a ton of information on their website. There's a ton of information in the McKay library. There's a bunch of resources that you can look up, their trends, their company, things that they're doing, their SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. There's a great book called The 2-Hour Job Search, which talks about Terra, trends. I should have this memorized. Interests, things that are going on with the company. But you can also find that information out throughout the interview. You could ask questions, and you could say, I already know the answer, but I want to know what their perspective is, right? So you know what the answer is, but what you found out, but what is their perspective on those, which is perfectly a good talking point also.
Okay, so yeah, definitely do your research, and be open to new information.
That's right.
Yeah.
Another great resource is AI.
Ah, yes.
So use your favorite LLM and type in and say, hey, tell me a little bit about this company. Tell me about its trends, its interests, its what things are going on, type of advice that you would give. You can even say, hey, pretend to be a persona of this company and let me do a mock interview with it.
Oh, man. Okay, lots. I got lots to practice. Yeah, that's fantastic. And what advice would you have for a student that doesn't really have a connections network yet, but maybe knows what companies? How do you reach out and start to build that?
Great question. A lot of times students come to me and they're like, hey, where do I start? Right. And we found that the Friends and Family program works really well. And people are like, well, what's the Friends and Family program? Remember the old AT&T thing that was like, hey, join our network and bring your friends and family too. You get a discount.
Introducing a new bundle from AT&T.
Not quite that program, but we found that a lot of times when students and people with that are doing networking, when they reach out to their family and their friends and say, who do you know that works in the industry? You're not asking them if they work in the industry, because you'll know if Uncle Joe is in the industry or not.
Yeah.
You've grown up with him. But you want to know who they are connected with. And you say, hey, Uncle Joe, is it all right if I ask so-and-so, your neighbor who works in the industry, or let's say the technology specialist in the ward, who they know, right? If the technology specialist in your ward doesn't work in the industry, then he knows somebody that does, because that's my friend, and I'm going to call him up when there's a problem, right? So by expanding, just using your friends and family network to expand to the people that actually have those resources and asking them for an informational interview, right? The next thing would be our CSE Majors iLearn page. Companies come to our department and say, we love BYU-I students. We love the fact that they're on a 3-tier track. We can have them come in during the winter and the fall semester, let alone the spring semester. And we really want to hire you guys because I was a BYU student. I'm an alumni. Any reason whatsoever, right? Then we're kind of boring, right? Which is always good for the government guys.
Oh, sure.
Right? And so what we do is to say, hey, we'd love to find these students, and I tell them that my smart, wink, wink, and intelligent, wink, wink, smart students go to our discussion board that is found in the CSE Majors page. And I say all my smart, intelligent students go there, and they will contact you and ask you for an informational interview. And then you can then proceed to go through the hiring process that you would normally. But this is a list. We keep a discussion board for every semester, and we keep those around for the last 5 years. And you're like, why would you keep these discussion boards with these job posts on it? Well, a year ago, if somebody was looking for an intern, then they're probably going to be looking for an intern next semester too.
Right.
So
Okay.
lots of opportunities there. So that's the second one. The third one would be job fairs, which we're having at the end of February. And the third one would be using Handshake, BYU-I Connect, which is our alumni, connecting with them. Lots of resources there. And of course, LinkedIn would be the last. Going out and just doing job searches on Indeed and just applying to 100 jobs, it's going to be a waste of your time, and it's not going to build your confidence because you're going to get zero feedback. So,
oh, man, yeah. For me, it's been a similar experience. I've gone to a lot of direct company websites over the last few months, and I've been putting out. I've been kind of taking the spray and pray approach.
Yeah.
But I have some contacts in an industry, but it didn't kind of go anywhere. So now I felt a little lost. So I think I'm going to go check out those discussion boards. That is fantastic. And when you reach out to that connection, do you have any advice for that, kind of formulating that message and trying to reach out? What are things that you should do, maybe not do, maybe avoid?
Again, just like you would any other contact, you'd reach out and say, do you have some time, 20 minutes, that I could talk to you about the opportunity that you posted, or you gave Brother Clements or Sister Inky or anybody that had posted that post? If you have 20 minutes that we could talk about this, and I'd like to do an informational interview. You can even say, hey, Brother Clements assigned me this assignment. And you use it as a class excuse, and that's perfectly legit. And people are like, oh, yeah, I'd love to help you with your homework, right? Pay it forward type of thing, right? So there's always these opportunities to say, you're in academics. They know you're in academics. They've been there.
Yeah.
They've done that.
Especially.
And they would like to help you out.
And when you're having that discussion with the person, are there any questions you think are maybe, other than give me a job, like, are there any questions that are like maybe too personal or too soon?
Well, just like with any other interview, there are things that should only be discussed. It's like, having dinner.
Yeah.
You shouldn't talk about politics or religion. Unless, of course, it's on your resume. Any interview, whether it be a job interview or an informational interview, especially a job interview, they can only talk to you about what's on your resume and what you've posted out on the internet. So everything is fair game, what you've posted. The idea of, in the informational interview, if you start talking about politics, that's going to deviate from the purpose, and it's going to waste a lot of your 20 minutes. You want to try to you even have a timer. Keep it at 20 minutes because you want to show that you're a professional. And you're like, I'm going to do this for 20 minutes, and then we can discuss side things afterwards. We can get to know each other if you're talking to Uncle Joe or whatever, right? But for this, I really need to concentrate on the 20 minutes. So talking about church, talking about politics, talking about other things, family dynamics, whatever, you don't want to deviate for those 20 minutes.
Gotcha. Sweet. Yeah, I think we're just about ready to wrap up, but do you have anything else that you would like to mention that you'd like students to know?
Great question. What things would students should know? One is, don't be afraid to call people. Texting them on LinkedIn or messaging them on LinkedIn is really going to slow down your process because a lot of people don't respond that. Most people, when you call them on the phone, they're going to pick up, right? And yes, it's a little embarrassing to call them on the phone. I know it's a little nervous wracking, but once you get a routine, you can even write out what you plan on saying. Most professional people that talk on the phone, telemarketers, they actually have a script that they follow, and that's okay. That's how you do it, right? And so if you feel uncomfortable, write it out because a lot of times reading it helps you build your confidence. Practice with your parents. Say, hey, mom, dad, brother, sister, I need some practice in this approach of interacting with these people. So practice is another great advice. Let's see. The third thing I would say is read some books about networking. The Career Center has a huge amount of information about preparing for interviews, preparing for networking. They have the method. They also have the career certificates, success certificates, bronze, silver, and gold. They also, most of their stuff is all based off of a book called The 2-Hour Job Search. It's an easy book to read. It's easier than reading the first Harry Potter book.
Wow.
Okay, it's not Tolkien.
Yeah.
Old Testament
the
stuff.
Similarity.
It is really easy read. I call it a bathroom reader because you could probably read it while you're doing your business.
Yeah, remember bathroom readers?
So it's an easy read, and you can also get it for free from the McKay Library online. So
fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
You're welcome.
It's an absolute pleasure. And appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. Feel free to have anybody come and talk to me. Sean Crosby is also going to be assisting me in doing the internship. So you can bug him too.
Sweet. Got that, everybody? All right.